Something that comes up every few years is the fact that home buyers and sellers want to see how the election goes before they end up making a decision if they want to move or not. Does the presidential election actually have an effect on the Grand Rapids housing market? You're going to want to tune in to this video to find out the truth. My name is Brandon Faber. I'm a local realtor right here in West Michigan, and this channel is dedicated to educating homeowners and future homeowners about selling their home, about the market, and all things real estate. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the tips and tricks and trends, and make sure you subscribe to our monthly equity report so you can stay up to date about your home's value. This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to be at the controls of my computer to show you the actual data points as to what has happened with the last couple of election cycles here in Grand Rapids. So it's going to be a little different, sound a little different, but I want to make sure I bring accurate facts to you because you deserve that. You don't just deserve opinions about what it felt like it was happening at that point. Get the facts. So I hope you enjoy that. So let's take a look at the data. Let's take a look at the facts as to how home sales are affected by a presidential election here in the United States, in particular the Grand Rapids area, because that's what we care about. That's what you come here for. So let's go through it. We're going to look at a variety of data points. So what that's going to be is sale price, homes for sale, days on market, percent of list price, and then how many showings until a home is pending. We're going to look at that yearly and then monthly. So spoiler, we already have the yearly data as to what the average sale price has done, and my data points can go back for strictly this area of West Michigan, which is the Grand Rapids area. It goes back to 2011, so we still have a good solid track record here of prices going up. Now if we were to switch that over to a monthly data point, just to get a little more granular. All right, so we've got 2012, September, October. Okay, went down 5,000 on average, not completely out of the realm of possibility in a normal market. Oh, November jumped up to 136, which that's just wild that it was that price. So overall, from August to December, we did not have much fluctuation. So what about 2016? Let's roll on over. So let's look at August, 202. We do see a spike from when it went down the month previously, and then it went down again in December and February again, but then we were on our way, seeing a typical trend between winter, summer, spring. So that is not all linear, of course, but hasn't really been a huge effect on things. And then of course 2020, we had lower interest rates, making it much easier for people to purchase homes and bidding wars. So we had a lot of price fluctuations during that time. So September 280, October 263, November stayed about the same, December stayed about the same, January stayed about the same, and then boom, shot up in February and kept on going and going and going. All right, so what about the number of homes for sale? Let's check that out. Let's switch back to yearly and go to homes for sale. It's almost the inverse, which makes total sense because we had back in 2010, 2011, we had a large amount of inventory. We were still recovering from the Great Recession. So nearly 7,000 homes for sale. And as the economy started to rebound, we started to see those numbers tail off. And 2012, yep, things were still improving. And now we see we are humming along below 1,000 homes for sale on average here in Grand Rapids. So what did that look like by the month? Much the same as the prices. We saw activity up, we'll see prices up. And of course, if activity up, prices are going up, we're seeing fewer and fewer homes be on the market. So back in 2012, let me find it here. Not as easy as it looks. How about that? October, we actually saw major dips. We were losing about 200 homes on the market a month. Great for the economy. 2016, September, we started at 2309. By the time we got to January, 1440. So about 1,000 homes were sold in that span of time and not replaced on the market. Great for the housing market here in Grand Rapids. And then we move over to 2020, September, we had about 1,100 homes for sale. By the time we got to January, we had 654. So housing market, you can look at it a couple different ways. Maybe people just decided not to sell, but maybe we had a number of people entering the market during this time because of the low interest rates. So let's take a quick look at how many shows depending. Again, this goes back just to 2016, so not as long of a data stretch, but let's focus in on that area in particular, the 2016-2020. So September, we had 7.7 average shows depending. By the time we got to January, we were at 11. And in 2020, September, 17.4 shows depending. And by the time January rolled around, we were at 20. So we saw activity pickup, which erased that inventory that we did have. Okay, so how did days on market do during this time? So this will largely match the number of homes for sale on a downward trend, as you'll see there. All right, so in 2012, we saw things start at their peak because we had more homes for sale, and obviously fewer homes means homes are going to be selling faster. If we have the demand that we do, and obviously we do. So if we get a little more granular on that, on the monthly side of things, let's go to 2016. Okay, 29 days, 28 days. And then we did see a spike up to 42 days on market. You have to take that into context, though, where we were coming from at that time. We saw in January the year prior at 52. We saw in January the year before that, 63. So we do see, on average, we see a turn of the year, the holiday slowdown come into effect there as well. So then when we move into 2020, we see 22 staying on average, 19, 22, and then January was up to 24. So not a big factor on the housing market in Grand Rapids for the last three, at least for days on market. Let's jump into percent of list price. So this will be a huge indicator as to how active and how aggressive buyers are being during this time. So if we look at the yearly, if we look at it from a zoomed out position, we are on the rise. Obviously, as inventory goes away and demand is on the rise, we are going to see percent of list price go up. And oh, guess what? This was during the low interest rate times. And then you start to see when rates switched, people didn't really feel comfortable moving because they were in a great rate and they got their move up house during that time. We started seeing them come down. So if we look in 2020, if we look at the monthly here, so in 2020, we saw September, we had 101% of sale to list price, so 1.5% roughly over list people were getting. By the time December rolled around, it was 101.1, so not a huge fluctuation. And then boom, look, turn of the year, that's spring in 2021. Of course, with the low interest rates artificially inflating the market, we jumped up to 106.3 after that election. So if we look at 2016, roll around, This might be like, whoa, homes were selling for less than what they were listed for. Not a good indicator of how the housing market was going. Well, you have to take into context of where we started. We started in 2011 of 94.3. If we get to 2016 here at 99.4, if you're a home seller, you're feeling really good about this. So we did see a dip from 99.4, 98.8, and then it jumped back up in December of 16, the month after. So that would mean most homes are getting under contract during November of that year. So we saw it jump back up into the 99s and dropped in February. Then boom, we started seeing homes rebound that spring, selling above list price to start. So you see there's the normal trends as we trend downward in the year. When activity slows and supply becomes less, then we start seeing that. So on average, these years look the same. The facts are that the presidential election really doesn't have a long-term effect on the housing market in Grand Rapids. We did see a couple instances where maybe activity went down or the average sale price went down, but those can be regular fluctuations anyway, and most all the time we saw things rebound, possibly even as early as December or even during the month November of the election period. So I hope this gave you clarity. I hope this gave you a leg up on your potential competition. If you're a home buyer or someone looking to sell here during this election period, you can take advantage of everyone pausing and holding on to that myth and get a home listed while the competition's sitting on the sidelines, and go in and compete with less buyers potentially on a home that you're going after. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I hope this is a benefit to you moving forward. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on information like this, and make sure you reach out to me if you are looking to make a move in the Grand Rapids area or outside the Grand Rapids area. Drop a comment if you think this election is going to be different, and we'll see you next time.